All right. So January, let's just start out with editing my month in review. So I want to have personal training. This needs to be more specific. All right. P&L review slash summary. Things done. Um, um, what else? What else? What else? I've edited, I've changed stuff so many times. And try to keep it simple, but now I want to do it more in depth. And these could all go above this. All right. Psychology, emotional, physical. Okay, yeah, so I think I got everything there. Price section, like P&L, like numbers, data, and then obviously uh, like my strategy. All right. Yeah, I think I like that. Kind of covers everything. What else? I think that's it, man. I think that's it. We'll edit it more later. Good enough for now. Okay. Oops. So let's just look real quick on the daily. Maybe in the monthly. So last month, everything kind of opened up at the lows. We had a December coming down. Oh yeah, we had the big sell-off from the Fed, and then we just ranged, waiting to bounce, which we did in Nasdaq and ES pretty high. But yeah, we had the Fed sell-off in December, and then January was the bullish reversal candle where we wick down, come up higher, and then create the wick into the end of the month. So that was just a classic monthly bullish candle. Classic monthly bullish candles after the Fed dump. Things were still tough to trade due to contract switch and the new year, aka January. So, one thing really noticed was the change in SMT and how longs were definitely in play whenever we made any sort of bullish SMT with NQES lower while I am holding or short term. Actually, it was the same thing. Or even YM weak and ES NQ holding was also very bullish. SMT was just tough to read since the classic, since the version prior to this was ES weaker versus NQ then up. Okay, ES manipulates. Yeah, it was just hard because we had that big NVIDIA things happening. So as you can see, IWM was way weaker, Russell was way weaker. But then there were just some moments in here where NASDAQ was really weak and ES, the Dow was weak, Russell was weak, and then the Dow was just really strong and NASDAQ was weak, and then it would just like have these rips out of nowhere, which not really out of nowhere, but yeah, just not expected. So yeah, it was the same thing in December though. It was just tough because we were looking for breadth to open up and it hadn't. But at the same time, this is something I should have anticipated, and it's funny because it's like it's almost like, which I should put in my psychology. It's almost like if I miss a move, I don't identify with it. And the reason why the market is going down or up, and I end up getting stuck thinking I'll be right since I didn't adapt to the correct trade. This is a great reason for me to continue to do replace touchback testing. Yeah, wow. Yeah, because that's exactly what happened. I wasn't really anticipating this huge move down, but I mean, if I had kept in mind where we really were at the time in the indices, such as Russell, it's like, okay, well, there's bearish SMT at the highs, and then boom, we're at the old high, barely sweeping it, SMT, bearish SMT, and we're likely to probably come back and back test an old PDRA, higher time frame order block. So it makes sense that would be literally in the CE of this big old order block underneath relative equal lows. So it's like totally messed that up, and because I missed it almost, like I saw we started to sell off and it was like I couldn't get out of the mindset that we were like gonna keep going down. I kept looking for longs. Part of that, there's another reason for that, and it's been other me watching Blockchain Backer, honestly, BC Backer, and relying on his analysis instead of my own. Um, and that's been hurting me because then I end up just yeah letting that influence. Classic, every trader's mistake is listening to other people. Well, some people there might actually get some edge from that, and there is, but in my case, I'm able to come up with my own ideas and trade them really well. And my problem is clearly um, listening and letting other people's analysis kind of not just not just logically, but mostly logically. There are some things there that are like, okay, if I had just actually taken a look for myself instead of letting them say something and then being like, oh, and like accepting that. So I really do need to just do it on my own. I think I'm just gonna like get off of. Well, it's something I need to develop anyways. Um, but yeah, just keeping that in mind, where I need to just trust my own analysis and do my own diligence. And like, if they're gonna look at a chart and I'm gonna look at someone's analysis, I should be looking at it myself. Yeah, so normally I always have that. It's like my normal trading plans, that's exactly how it goes. I'm looking for, where's the reason to get in long and where's the reason to get in short and where's the invalidation for that and where's the trade idea for that and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean that's part of that psychological, part of that is just having a system for that. So yeah, just need to make sure on the higher time frame I am keeping in mind where we are, not just in the small time frame price action, but like where we are on the higher time frame. And I just keep letting other people's narratives saying, oh, okay, we're going up. Like people, especially when we're up in here, it's like, why the fuck am I a bull here? you know? So, especially, yeah, it's like, boom, I would have, if I had just known or had even just the doubt of like, okay, this actually might be a dump, you know? Um, Especially with the way we had SMT the highs. That's like classically what I want to see. So yeah, I mean, that was a mistake there too. So yeah, I mean, I missed out on a ton of money on XRP there because of that. Well, that made me just feel bad. Sucks. Which it should feel bad. That's not. I need to get better at than that. Okay. But yeah, we did have that sell off. The kind of the way the SMTs worked changed, um, but more so the direction of the market had changed, and I was ignoring some of the reasons to trade against my ideas, aka go long instead of short, since I was a permeable ignoring where we would most to on the higher time frame, since I ignored the obvious reasons. All right, maybe I should highlight those. Okay. Um, but yeah, I mean, we did bounce. So yeah, I think part of that is just I've been lazy and not been doing my higher time frame analysis like I used to do on the weekends. I used to really deep dive into the higher time frames and the intermarket analysis and where everything was and the bigger picture, which is really, grounding, which you do need on the day to day. It's funny, a lot of traders think that it's just you can just wake up but if you're trading with a high win rate, then I think you do need to, put in more work, you get more reward. So yeah, you can still do it without it, but you're gonna have a not as much money. All right, you got to reflect on your P&L. P&L review and summary. And I'll come back over this, see what else I'm missing. I'm just kind of quickly just vomiting everything, and that's how I'm gonna do all these. So P&L swayed drastically due to um, getting consistent wins, then followed by Achilles heel, um, revenge trading, and also still being right, but letting losses still affect as well as not. Okay, this is all getting into too much. Okay. I took big losses due to revenge trading on a single idea when I had high conviction in it, and only to miss it, leading to me doing it all over again as a revenge. And it's more than just revenge though. Honestly, it's like I'm trying to push my conviction too. It's like, okay, well if I am right and I just keep making mistakes, it's like, well, let's get it right. And so I end up really making an effort to do it right. And then yeah. So it is revenge, but it's also like there is some serious stuff in there. To reframe so yeah, I mean, this whole time, this is why these reviews are important. This whole time I've been like, yeah, most of it is psychological, but now that I'm doing this review, it's like, okay, no, there were a lot of things I literally just missed in the price action, not because I missed it and like looked over it, but I just didn't do it. I didn't even zoom out and look at IWM on the higher time frame. I'm looking at the all-time high and I'm like, oh, it's gonna break that. It's like, okay, well, it did, but what can happen in December and what can happen in January when we're and then we have bearish SMT there. It's like there's just so many things that I could have easily seen. And it was pretty tricky because there wasn't any like clear market structure shifts at these highs. There was there. And I think I was shorting this. I can't remember, um but yeah, I mean there are just many signs here where Dow Jones right here. And then Russell manipulates higher, and then at the same time we get ES topping out a bit after the Dow, and then suddenly NASDAQ manipulating higher. So there were just a lot of signs. And I mean, yeah, December, right into December, things got kind of hard to trade. Though that's not an excuse. So it did seem a lot harder to trade to me, just like last year. But I would be green both months if I had been taking profits earlier as a make it take it time environment style. This would have led me to avoid the big losses as well as many useless trades where I normally wouldn't be trading times. Talking about times. Whatever. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, P&L trade drastically. I blew my 5 copy accounts. I also blew an options account after I had ran it up 100% and then over leveraged not just in one trade but in the entire directional trade long during the Fed dip, knowing we would rebound, but alas, I didn't buy enough time again. And on top of that, I shouldn't have been buying IWM. You know, whatever. Okay, but yeah, P&L. I also lost a few other small accounts. Small, not accounts. It sounds like a huge amount of money. Trades in options that were just timed poorly. Such as the big sell-off we literally had. Where was it? The big gap down there. Literally expired on Friday, and I was waiting for that, and I was like, whatever, dude, I'm just wrong, and then it just dumps over the weekend. So yeah, all these spelling mistakes. Consistency with my systems and processes. Well, let's embarrass myself and look. Pretty good. Better. Usually towards the end of the week, you can see I really peter off because that's where, take some losses and then I need to take a break. So I did do better though. So I need to mark that up. Still needs work. Oh, you know what? A lot of them I just did on video though. So I actually did do pretty good. Still need much more, but needs some more work. Just specifically on Notion, where I keep actual notes on everything. Yeah, I can't forget. I'm constantly on the Discord, and and tons of stuff is posted on there. And there's been days in a row where I don't use Notion. So I actually think I actually did really well on this. When it comes to end of day plans and planning, but I did lack the higher time frame due diligence that creates the real directional edge where I can crush every single day and week for big months. Yeah, so I think that's honestly, if I just did that one thing, that might, even with all my mistakes, obviously, if I just keep revenge trading, but that's gonna hold me back. But if I get that higher time frame analysis right, that's there's no reason I should be profitable other than my psychology. like super profitable, not just profitable. So I think I think I'm gonna have two goals already thinking about this. One is Sundays being I almost need to just leave the house and go to a coffee shop because that's where I really get a lot of work done. Just because it's fun and I love it and I'm in an environment and and then yeah, doing my other systems to manage my losing. So I think if those two things did those two things, I think that is the winning thing. The which is so easy because I actually like doing that. The only reason I don't is just because when I get there, sometimes I'm like, man, I just wish I had my full desktop because it's like I can just see everything. But at the same time, it's like, well, then just do it at home. But it's just too easy to get distracted at home. That's why it'll be nice to have an office or something later. But whatever. All right. See what realistically. Um. That being said, I didn't fill out my notions like I should, and also my reviews for each week haven't been done. I need to re-establish that habit and routine. It's all the same. Um, Flow just needs to take into account the dates when we're getting a hard reversal profile over multiple days and 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 yeah, things done well. Did really well doing my planning and end of day reviews and using the Discord a lot to quickly review trades in order to become self-aware. Also, still got it when it comes to finding amazing setups. Yeah, listening to others' analysis while doing my own diligence. Not doing more replays and write-ups. Um, Not reviewing my weeks and doing a higher time frame analysis. That's really is the key. Looking at the opposite side of the curve for SMT targets, higher time frame, and pairing that my typical to give me more conviction my trades and analysis. Doing reps. If I do as many reps as possible, I'm going to make as much money as possible. That's literally the answer right there. All right, what else? Okay. Price action candle reviews. Well, we're still into the quarter, but yeah, we've traded into. This is something I'll do on the weekend. I think I'm gonna get rid of this. Oh, oh, okay. It was just a bullish candle. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, holy cow, this just seems like a get the fuck out candle. But it did, it was bullish. But that I think this is really leading for still some upward movement. But yeah, big green candles on everything, even though they did create a big wick. Really not much else to say there. Could even look at the year. Is that the low of the year so far? Yeah. That may be the yearly low. So far. Quarterly low. Yeah. Yeah, I just need to do that higher time frame analysis more. Dollar looks like it's finally. Did it make SMT yet? Almost. No. Probably did with other currencies though. Most likely. But yeah, dollar's rejecting. Big up. Holy cow. Big quarter. Crazy. Currencies seem like they're definitely in play right now. But January was just a big ol' get the fuck out candle too. So yeah, looks like a reversal candle. All right. So yeah, the last things to do are listen to the write a video. Boom. I haven't done that. Review 5-year gameplay. I'll do that on my own. I'm not gonna do that on video, but yeah. All right, adios.